This is the Louie T Network.
Man, I love some football. Man, I love some football. My favorite week is week 1, cause I'm watching football. First comes the preseason, and I don't take a day off. And then it gets even better when your team makes the playoffs. 32 teams go hard for one thing. They work for one thing. That Super Bowl ring. 32 teams go hard for one thing. They work for one thing. That Super Bowl ring. We in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the program. You're in the lab room. I'm your host, of course, Louie T. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. We've got to run down the slate of games, pick a sole survivor for week number 2 in the National Football League, and of course, the one, the only, Pats, Daps, and Snaps coming up a little bit later on in the program. So let's start the show off the right way with the sole survivor pick of week number 2. Now, a little disappointed in myself. I cannot lie. I am very upset with myself because I broke one of the golden rules. And I learned this in the 8th grade. My science teacher, bless her heart, in the 8th grade told me something that has resonated and stuck with me all these years, and I'll probably take it to my grave. And I didn't follow that rule. And that rule is simple, very simple. And that rule states, your first answer is the right answer. Okay? Your first answer is the right answer. And I picked Detroit on this very program last week. I said the Detroit Lions were my sole survivor pick of week number 1. And I was confident. Then my man Star-Lord hit me up and he said, man, it's bad in Buffalo right now. It's real bad. And he gave me the audio proof to prove how bad it was in Buffalo. And I bit down on that hook, line, and sinker like a fish that didn't see it coming. I bit down on it and they reeled me in. Man, I got reeled in. And I said, okay, I don't like E.J. Manuel as a starting quarterback in this league. The Bears are at home. I expect them to be able to get this one. Bills on the road. Doug Marrone, don't know if he's going to be around. There's about to be new management in Buffalo. There's a lot of turmoil. All of that added up equals a Bears win. So I switched my answer. That's a no-no. Bad move. That's bad news. I had to pay. So now I'm out of my own survival pool, but that's fine. That's not going to stop me from giving you a winner. I gave you a winner last week, didn't I? I'll give you another one this week. It's what I do. It's what I do. So we're going to run down the slate of games, and you know how this goes. It's fast-paced. It's in your face. It's the week 2 edition of the Sole Survivor. Let's get it. So we start on Thursday night football. It's family business. It's Steelers. It's Ravens. It's a no-no, baby. You don't do that. First of all, you don't stick your nose in anybody else's family business that doesn't concern yours. Okay? If it doesn't concern you, then it's none of your business. You take yourself and you move it on the other way and you let them handle their family business. And that's what I intend on doing. If you want to have a death wish, if you want to fall into a death trap, knock yourself out. Pick a winner. I dare you to. I double dog dare you. but I'm not messing with it. I'm moving on to the next game. Miami at Buffalo. Didn't I just tell you stay out of family business that doesn't concern you? This is not my family business. And we saw the Miami Dolphins take care of the Patriots last week. We saw the Bills go on the road and take care of the Chicago Bears last week. Do you want some of that? I know I don't. I'm leaving that game alone, moving on to the next one on the docket. Detroit at Carolina. This is scary. You know why it's scary? Because you're talking about elite offense in Detroit against elite defense in Carolina. Now, normally elite defense beats elite offense. We saw that in the Super Bowl. But we don't know what Cam Newton is going to do. He's probably going to play. I've heard basically he's 95% sure he's playing this week. So that sounds good, but he's rusty. Cam is rusty. This is dangerous because this defense can force Matthew Stafford into some mistakes and win this game. And same thing being said about the Detroit defense. They could force Cam into some mistakes and the offense for the Detroit Lions could do just enough to win. All I'm saying to you is that's not a smart move. I'd leave it alone if I were you. You can pick it if you want to. That won't be me though. I'm moving on to the next matchup. Atlanta, the Falcons, traveling to the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. I wouldn't do this one if I was you. Falcons going to Cincinnati. And look, the Bengals are tough at home. They're tough at home. And even though Atlanta had a big win, that was family business. That was family business. This is different. This is out on the road against a tough defense with some explosive offensive weapons on the other side of the football. I'm just telling you, this isn't the move to make right here. This is too tough of a game. It's a toss-up, flip a coin. Heads it's Atlanta, tails it's Cincinnati. Don't do that. Don't play Russian roulette with your soul survival pool. Don't do that. Move on to the next pick. There's a better pick for you down the line. You go on to the next game. New Orleans at Cleveland. Now, if you want to pick this one, I can't say that I'm signing off. I'm not putting my John Hancock on it, all right? Not putting my Hancock on it. However, if you pick this game, I won't beat you up for it. You know why? Because New Orleans is good enough to go on the road and beat Cleveland. However, Cleveland got pressure on the quarterback last week. They got pressure on Big Ben, and that was family business. They got pressure on Big Ben last week. And if they can get pressure on Drew Brees, I've seen the Saints struggle on the road against teams that can get pressure on them. See the St. Louis Rams last year. See the New York Jets last year. I'm just telling you, I'm just giving you a warning up front. I wouldn't do that if I were you, but if you do, hey, I wouldn't blame you for doing that. I'm just saying there's a better option. I'd hold out my cards and wait to see if that other option isn't a little bit better. And I'm here to tell you, it is. So I move on to the next game. New England at Minnesota. How often is it that Belichick loses 2 games in a row? I don't know, but I know it's not very often. However, Minnesota went on the road last week and they smacked around the St. Louis Rams. Backup or no backup, I don't care. Go in somebody's house, 34-6, and disrespect them. That's big. So now they're coming home, and the Patriots, they're real ornery right now. They're mad. They're foaming at the mouth. They're looking for a W. But the Vikings are on a slouch, and they're at home. Look, my hands are tied, man. My hands are tied. I don't want any part of this one, and neither should you. You move on to the next matchup. Arizona at the Giants. I have zero confidence in the New York Football Giants right now. That showing on Monday was pathetic. But it was also week 1. They could do a total 180 in week number 2, show up, score 28 points, hold the Cardinals to only 20 and win the game. You just don't know. It's still early in the season. I just know this much. If this game was in Arizona, you could lock it up. It's in New York. The Cardinals got to come all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, play at a 1 o'clock time slot. That's tough. I'm just saying, I'm not saying. You move on to the next matchup. Dallas at Tennessee. Look, Dallas looked horrendous last week. Tennessee looked really good last week. However, you really don't know what's going to happen. Tony Romo could have a bounce back game. Des Bryant could catch 2 touchdown passes. Tony Romo could go 28 of 34 for 334 yards and 4 touchdown passes. And Tennessee could stink it up. Jake Locker could get injured in the second quarter and they could be reduced to having a backup in the game and they could stink it up. Or they could just go out and win. You don't know what's going to happen. That's a scary proposition. I tell you, you better off moving on like Maya. So we go on to the next game. Jacksonville at Washington. I'ma just tell you no, straight up. I'm a Redskins fan and I am urging you to skip this game. It's 0-1 Jacksonville versus 0-1 Washington. You don't know who is going to show up in that game. Is the first quarter Jacksonville Jaguars going to show up, or the second half Jacksonville Jaguars that couldn't get out of their way going to show up? Are the Redskins going to continue to fumble the football away and give away games, or are they going to show up and play good football? You have no idea. And when you don't know, you don't go. So we move on to the next one. Seattle at San Diego. Seattle is one of the most dominant teams at home. Problem is, they're not at home in this game. And I like San Diego a lot. I like them a lot. Now, you can say to yourself, well, the Super Bowl defending champions, until somebody beats them, why not pick them? Because San Diego is dangerous and they're at home. And I didn't say Seattle was a dominant road team. I said they were a dominant home team. If I were you, I'd be careful here. Tread lightly. Tread lightly. Because if you step on the wrong portion of this game, you could fall through. And I mean fall through in a major way. Nobody's coming to save you. If you step on the ice, it starts to crack and you go under. You're done. I wouldn't mess with this one. If you paid me to, I'm moving on to the next matchup. St. Louis at Tampa Bay. This one is funky. Funky with a capital F, man. If I was you, I would run the other way. This one stinks. The stench coming from this game is so foul, you can smell it 2 states away. If I was you, I would be packing my things and running the other way. You've got a 3rd string quarterback in St. Louis. You got a backup posing as a starter in Tampa Bay. No. You move on to the next matchup. Kansas City at Denver. You know what this is? I'm gonna give you one guess. What is this? I'm listening. What is it? It's family business. If them 2 teams say they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. So you know what I'm doing. I'm moving on. So, Jets at Green Bay. Ding, 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 ding. This is your sole survivor for week number 2. Look, the New York Jets, they play defense. However, this defense has a huge deficiency right now. It's in the secondary. They got safeties playing at corner right now. Hey, you can get away with that in week 1 when you're playing the Oakland Raiders. They don't have any offense. But what happens when a mad Aaron Rodgers shows up? Yeah, they got a depleted offensive line right now. But what happens when a mad Aaron Rodgers shows up with all his receivers ready to rock and roll at Lambeau for the first time all season long, and you got backup corners and safeties out there posing as corners? What happens? What happens then? What happens when Geno Smith, and look, the Packers got ran on last week by Seattle, but that's Seattle. You know, and the Jets ran the football last week, but that was Oakland. Now, some things could happen in this game, and it could change the outcome of this game. But I do not see Geno. Oh, Geno. I don't see Geno going on the road to Green Bay nonetheless and coming out with a W. Do you? I don't. And so for that reason right there, and of course my man A-Rod throwing the pill, for that reason and that reason alone, I don't even have to go into all the other reasons. That reason and that reason alone, give me the Green Bay Packers to survive in week number 2 of the National Football League. But I'm not done yet. Just so you know that this is your best option, I'll finish the rest of the games in week number 2. So you move on to the next matchup. Houston at Oakland. Let me say that one more time. You go on to the next matchup. Houston at Oakland. Does that even sound remotely right? Does that sound like a game you should be choosing from? Let me answer that for you. No. So we move on to the next matchup. Chicago at San Francisco. Now, if you wanted to pick this game, I would listen. If you give me the right reasons why, I'd actually tell you, hey, go ahead, knock yourself out. However, I know Chicago lost last week. I know they lost at home to Buffalo. But we don't know that Buffalo is bad. Buffalo might actually be 10-6 this year. So you need to pump your brakes before we say, hey, they lost to Buffalo at home. Buffalo might actually be good this year. You don't know if Buffalo's good or not, right? Right? So before we jump to conclusions on Chicago, before we stomp a mud hole in them for what they did last week, just pump your brakes a bit. But then you look at what San Francisco did and the dismantling of Dallas in week 1 and you say, man, they're going home, brand new stadium, they're going to christen it. The last time they played this Chicago Bears team on prime time, it was a massacre. That was Colin Kaepernick's first start on national television and it went so bad for the Bears that I think the San Francisco 49ers might still have a warrant out for their arrest in Santa Clara for that game. So I'm going to say this much. If you want to go in the direction of this game, you have my blessing. You have my blessing. I wouldn't recommend it, but you have my blessing, okay? I will sign off on this one. I'll put my Hancock on this one. If you want to go here, I'm fine with it because it's the home team. That Cleveland-New Orleans game, I stay away from road teams. That's not a good look. I don't do family business and I don't do road winners. That's not the way to go. That's not the way to go. Stay away from the road, stay away from family business. Well, that game is neither. The 49ers are at home and it's not family business. If you want to go there, you have my blessing. But it's not better than Green Bay at home taking on the Jets and Geno Smith. You move on to the final matchup of week 2. Indy at home versus the Philadelphia Eagles. These are two teams that can score a boatload of points in an instant. And the Philadelphia Eagles, they didn't look the best in week 1, but they got it done. And the Indianapolis Colts, they didn't look the worst, but they still fell short against the Denver Broncos, but they scored some points. They got some momentum toward the end of the game. This is a scary game. Anybody could win. I tell you, hey, put your pick back in your pocket if you're thinking about making this selection to wrap up week number 2. So there you have it. You look at the list of games and it's pretty simple. It's plain to see that the Green Bay Packers in week number 2 against the New York Jets are your sole survivor. And so that's going to wrap up that portion of the show. We're going to take a quick break and then we're coming back with the one, the only PDX, Paps, Daps, and Smacks. Social media has taken off in ways that I couldn't have imagined. And thus, I've taken the liberty to start being more active on social media. So like me on Facebook at In the Lab Room. Follow me on Twitter at In the Lab Room. You can also +1 me on Google Plus at Louie T. And also, of course, my main hub, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. That's youtube.com/In the Lab Room. These are all ways that I'm looking forward to interacting with you, the viewers, in the upcoming season of the Louie T Network. Did you miss me? I know you did. Welcome to the week 2 edition of Pats, Daps, and Smack. So, I had to ice up my hand because of that ultra combo that I put on the Cleveland Browns and their quarterbacking quandary back in week 2 of the preseason. It was such a huge ultra combo that my hand was sore for 2 weeks. So I've had a chance to rest it, and I took some advice from Steve Smith. Ice up, son, ice up. Now I'm feeling pretty good. Hands feeling pretty strong, and I'm ready to get the friction on. But we start on a light note. Let's pat some guys on the back, man. You can't just start out slapping folks around, man. That's disrespectful. I'm a nice guy. At least I like to think I am. So, let's pat Matthew Stafford on the back. What a performance on Monday to kick off Monday Night Football. He looked good. I talked about how spry he looked on the Tuesday edition of In the Lab Room and how he seems to be a lot more mobile, had a rushing touchdown, was able to give DeMontre Morty, ole! And throw that deep bomb to Calvin Johnson, was able to escape the pocket, scramble to his left, then backpedal and throw across his body to Calvin for another touchdown in the end zone. He looks in great shape, and he fired that football around, found guys like Golden Tate and some of the tight ends, and so he threw for over 300 yards en route to a 35-14 beatdown on Monday night. Hey, Matthew Stafford, you look great, my man. Keep it up. This team might be able to make it to the postseason, but whatever happens, it's going to rest on your shoulders. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back for a great start to the season. Mike Nugent, field goal kicker for the Cincinnati Bengals. Man, did they put you to work in week 1 or what? 6 field goal attempts. You made 5 of them, and the only one that you missed happened to be blocked. So go ahead and pat yourself on the back, because without your performance, the Cincinnati Bengals don't go into Baltimore and M&T Bank Stadium and win for the first time since 2009. You, Mike Nugent, my friend, pat yourself on the back. Cleveland Browns. Look, you could have easily gotten slapped here, but something happened at halftime. I don't know if my man, your man, everybody's guy, Mike Pettin, got into you, or if you just woke up and smelled the coffee. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened, but the light bulb came on. And all of a sudden, you went from trailing 27-3 at half to tying this football game at 27 with a chance to take the lead and probably win at the end of the game. But of course, you're the Browns. You found a way not to get it done, but it doesn't matter. You making that a ball game took a lot of gumption. It took a lot of intestinal fortitude. You could have easily said, hey, we're the Browns. What do you expect? We're dysfunctional. We didn't know who our quarterback was for the majority of the preseason. We don't have a lot of talent. You could have folded the tent, but you didn't. You came out, you played inspired football, and you reminded us that, hey, we may have some deficiencies on our team, and we may not have the quarterback of the future on our roster right now, but we're a gritty bunch. We've got talent on this team, believe it or not, and it's family business, and we're not going to allow the Pittsburgh Steelers to disrespect us like we're not family. We're family, man. You can't do us like that. Way to step up, Cleveland. Make it a ball game. Look, there are no moral victories in the National Football League, but you, my friends, deserve a pat on the back. Tennessee Titans, boy, I tell you what, man. The weak start riots, the strong, man, they move silent. And the Tennessee Titans, they tiptoed. Doop, 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 doop. They tiptoed into Kansas City, knocked on the door, and Kansas City looked through the peephole and they kicked the door in, man. But they did it in such a way that you quietly forgot about what Tennessee was doing. They went out there, assaulted the Kansas City Chiefs, and they did it so quickly, so cleanly, effortlessly, so painlessly that before Kansas City could ring the alarm and have the authorities pick them up, they had already done their dirty work and left town with a beatdown 26-10. That's how you do it. The Tennessee Titans are a scary bunch, and I told you, watch those boys, watch them before they watch you. Get them, and they got them. And so, Tennessee, pat yourself on the back. Way to go over there and make a statement that, hey, don't sleep on us. We might just have to slap you around and wake you up. Go ahead and pat yourself on the back, Tennessee. Way to go and get it done on the road. What about the Carolina Panthers? I told you you couldn't do it. Other people told you couldn't do it, and I definitely didn't think you could do it without Cam Newton's services in week 1 on the road against Tampa Bay. So what did you do? You packed up your defense and you sprinkled in a little bit of Derek Anderson, and you went and got it done on the road. Kudos to the Carolina Panthers for taking care of a little bit of family business with a backup quarterback. And I tell you what, that was impressive in itself. But not only did you go out and win, you got Tampa Bay over there doubting themselves. That's a double whammy in the face of a divisional foe. That's how you handle family business on the road, man. Pat yourself on the back, Carolina. That's big time, big boy football right there. You want to win the division again? Sometimes it ain't going to be pretty, but you got to be gritty and get it done. And you did that in week 1. So you move on to the next pat on the back. What did I tell you about my man Jeremiah Atauchu? Now, he's going by Jerry right now. I'm going to call him, his mama named him Jeremiah, I'm going to call him Jeremiah. However, Jeremiah Atauchu, on Monday night, he welcomed himself and introduced himself to the National Football League. And I told you, the new nightmare of the AFC West wasn't Khalil Mack. It's Jeremiah Atauchu, or Jerry Atauchu. And what did he do? He blocked a kick, but that wasn't enough. He got a sack on Carson Palmer, forced a fumble, and helped the San Diego Chargers build a 17-6 lead. Hey, Jerry Atauchu, pat yourself on the back, man. The Nigerian nightmare is here. Y'all better wake up, because if you're sleeping, he's going to be in your dreams. So, now we go from there to some Daps, man, some cold, hard, serious Daps. And we start with Matty Ice, Matt Ryan. Boy, that football was slinging out there in the A. That's how they do it in the A. And Matt Ryan was throwing that peel around, over 400 yards, franchise record, and he needed every single one of those yards as that game went to overtime. But he got it done. And he got his team over the top, and they were down in that game. They were trailing, but they never, ever doubted themselves. You know why? Because they got Matty Ice. We call him Matty Ice for a reason. It's ice water in those veins. And when the game's on the line, there's not many better than Matt Ryan. Hey, Matt, that was a big-time win against a team in that division. You're going to see him again, but you had to get that one at home. If you want to be serious and you want people to take you serious, you needed that one. Hey, Matt, that's what's up, my man. And speaking of dapping up some QBs, let me lump in another quarterback. Big Ben Roethlisberger out there slinging that peel around against the Cleveland Browns at home. Built a 27-3 lead at the half. Now, I will say, you started lounging. You started lounging at halftime. You thought you had this one in the bag. Cleveland said, hey, not so fast. You thought we were done. You thought we were going to run away and hide. Not so fast, my friend. However, Ben said, hey, look, man, you can tie the game all you want, but if you give me the football back with a chance to win before regulation is over, you're done. And what did they do? They gave Ben back the football with just enough time to get into field goal range for Sean Sweezum. And you know, Sean Sweezum, if it's 50 and in, you can go ahead and bank it. And Sean knocked it home from 41. Game, set, match. Big Ben, over 300 yards passing. Big Ben got it done, slinging a peel around the Tones and company. Hey, they look good in Pittsburgh, and the reason they look good is because Big Ben is standing tall. Hey, way to start the season off, big dog. You want another ring? You're going to have to keep playing and doing your thing. Hey, next person up. I got two for you. It's a 2-pack in Miami from the Dolphins. One on offense, one on defense. Did you see Cameron Wake, the monster that is the Wake? Did you see the Wake out there giving Brady and company the business? Did you see it? 2 sacks, 2 strips, 2 forced fumbles. 1 to put the game on ice. That boy is cold-blooded. Cameron Wake, one of the biggest, strongest, most physical defensive ends in the league, exerted his will over the New England Patriots. And for that, you get some that. What about his teammate on the other side of the ball? Balling out of control. Noshawn Moreno. Look, I talked about Noshawn Moreno. I said, hey, let me ask you a question, Noshawn. Was that production that you gave up last year, was that a product of Peyton Manning, or are you really playing ball like that? He said, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. So the man just went out, got 24 carries, posted a $134. I'm going to tell you what, he put that Dolphins team on his back, and carried them to a victory offensively. They couldn't stop the man last week, and he was a big part of the reason why the Miami Dolphins, they didn't just beat the New England Patriots, they slapped those boys around. Hey, no Sean Moreno. Give me some, man. Give me some. All right? We're moving on to a 3-pack of teams that were very disrespectful. 2 went on the road and disrespected teams in their house, and the other one was a really bad host. All right? So we start with the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco, why you do them boys like that, man? Why you got Jerry talking all kinds of nonsense now? Why you do those boys like that, man? San Francisco, if you blink twice, it was 21-3 in Big D. San Francisco went to Dallas, disrespected those boys in their own house. And you want me to tell you the worst part? Let me tell you what the worst part of that game was. The San Francisco 49ers fans went to Big D and took over. They took over. It might as well have been played at Levi Stadium. Because all I saw was a sea of red. When the Cowboys scored, they booed. When the 49ers scored, they cheered. The 49ers literally went in their house and took over. They went in the house, they took down all the Cowboys pictures and put up 49er trophies, 49er pictures. They took over the joint, man. Oh, that was so disrespectful. And for that, give me some dap, man. That was so pretty. You move on to the next team. Super Bowl defending champion Seattle Seahawks. Boy, oh boy. I said, man, Raj, you set up a barn burner. Green Bay, Seattle, week 1, Thursday night, first game of the season? Oh yeah, this is going to be great. Seattle said, the hell it is. They went out, pummeled those boys. Now, it was close early, but Seattle said, hey, this is a little too close for comfort. How about we just run away from these boys? Zoom, zoom, zoom. Hey, zoom, zoom, zoom. They ran away from them boys. Zoom. And I ain't talking NASCAR unit. I'm talking about they ran laps around those boys. Offensively, defensively, special teams, you name it. Seattle did it in that game. Hey, Seattle, that's the way you open up your Super Bowl defending crown season. That's how you open it up. They giving you the rings. I'm giving you some dap. You move on to the last team, Minnesota Vikings. Those purple people eaters was over there eating up Rams, yum, 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 chomping on the Rams. How do you go into someone's house and disrespect them so bad, that they got to play their third-string quarterback? Look, the Minnesota Vikings went into St. Louis and beat those boys up so bad. They thinking about trading for a quarterback. Not now, like right now. 34-6. And I told them, you need to stop the ball to beat the Minnesota Vikings. You need to stop them from running the ball. And what did the Vikings do? They went in and they ran the football all over the Rams. Cordell Patterson went over 100 yards. Adrian Peterson was knocking on the door of 100 yards. They did whatever they wanted to do, however they wanted to do it. And the St. Louis Rams couldn't do a goddamn thing about it. Hey, Minnesota, that's how you get your new head coach, your new offensive coordinator, your new defensive coordinator. That's how you take all them boys on the road and show them off. Give me some dap. That was beautiful. Now we talking about some smacks. Now we talking about some, I'm all lathered up now. I'm ready to smack somebody. So we going to start with the Dallas Cowboys. And I got some teams I got to smack right off the bat. How dare you first of all, shame on your fans. Let me smack your fans first, man. That was ridiculous. Stop selling your tickets to the opposition. That was garbage. That's first. First off, okay? Second off, how you going? Look, we knew the defense was bad, right? We made an assumption. Maybe we were right for doing that. Maybe we weren't. But we made an assumption, right or wrong, that the defense was bad. Okay, so what? But how is it that the offense does what they did? How is it that DeMarco Murray fumbles on the second play of the game? How is it that Tony Romo is throwing to the wrong color jersey on a consistent basis? What did he throw? 3 picks in that game? How is it that before the end of the first quarter, it's 21-3? I need to know. You don't have an answer, do you? Do you? I know you don't. Don't worry about it. Don't even open your mouth. Just take that. How about the St. Louis Rams? I'm so disappointed in you. Because you're being stingy right now. You're being selfish, okay? The Redskins gave you all these picks. And you went and drafted all these young players. And now it comes time to give up some picks. You're in a rut. You're in a bind. Do you want to give this season away? Because if you're going to quit this year, just let me know. If I'm a Rams fan, I want to know, are you going to try to win or are you going to just pack it in for the season? Because if you don't trade for somebody, and I don't care if the guy doesn't know the playbook or not, it'll be better than what you got on your team right now, I can tell you that. So if you're not going to trade for somebody, then all you need to do is tell me as a Rams fan that you're not trying to win this year, okay? Just let me know what's good. But to come out at home, first game of the season, 34-6 at home, it'd be one thing if that was the Seattle Seahawks. If that was San Francisco, a team you respected. That was the Minnesota Vikings. A team that was dead last in defense a season ago. Now, yeah, they got a new head coach, and that man means business on defense. I don't care. You were supposed to go in, stop the run, make Matt Castle beat you. Cordell Patterson shredded you. Adrian Peterson still was getting off. You let everybody do whatever it is they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it. You were disrespected. They put a footprint right on your face, man, and you ain't do nothing about it. All you did was lay down. So you know what you get when you lay down? Stay down. Don't get up. Don't try to get up now. Stay down. How? Smack you in your face for that, man. Take an extra one upside your head, too. That was trash. Oh, man. I got a 3-pack. I got a 3-pack of guys who were abused on Sunday. I almost feel bad, and Monday, I almost feel bad for doing this. Because they took enough punishment in their respective games that I almost feel bad for smacking these guys after they already been beat up. But I don't care. I don't care. So we start with Spencer Lanning. I don't like punters to begin with. So anytime I see a punter and he gives me a feeble attempt at a tackle, I get upset. So it's always refreshing when I see somebody give a helpless punter one of these little in-out moves and the punter just freezes or he falls down, and even though nobody touched him, he falls on the ground. Punters are so garbage. That's what I like when I see a guy like Pat McAfee. Pat Mac that'll put you on your back because he's not afraid. But Spencer Lanning, he already was scared. He was on his knees. He was on his knees. Please kick me in my face. And Antonio Brown, Tom said, "Oh, want me to kick you?" Ah! Gave him a nice karate kick right to the face. He was begging for it. That man was on his knees begging to be kicked. Please kick me. Please. So, I'm not going to kick you, man. I don't use my feet. I use my hands. I'm going to smack the hell out of you, man. That was terrible. I feel bad for smacking the man after he got kicked in the face. But, hey, what more can I say? So we move on to the next person. My man, Chris Conte. I thought I got rid of you after the Green Bay game last year. I thought I got rid of you after you let Randall Cobb run right by you for a touchdown that sent the Packers to the playoffs and sent you home. I thought I got rid of Chris Conte last year. Now, you did have a pick in your game. That's good. But what happened when the game was on the line? And Fred Jackson loaded up the truck for a special delivery. Fred X got in the truck, put the keys in the ignition, and he said, "Man, I got a special package to deliver all the way down to the 2-yard line, and anybody in my way is getting a stiff arm." Guess who showed up? Guess who showed up when Fred got in the vehicle and started driving? You guessed it, Chris Conte showed up, and he wasn't prepared for what Fred had in store for him. He took not one, but 2 stiff arms. And what did he do? He went crumbling. Fred said, "Hey, man, get out my face." Chris said, "No, I got to take it." Fred said, "No, get out my face, man." And Chris Conte went flying 4 yards onto the floor. So for that, that was in overtime with the game on the line. For that, Chris Conte, you get a Hadouken. You get a Hadouken uppercut slap. Get out of here, man. That was soft. with a capital T. So, get out of my face, man. And last but not least, of this 3-pack. Oh, the Giants. Oh, the Giants. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, DRC, and Stevie Brown. Okay, first of all, how the Muggletron is out there running in space. Your job is to keep up with him. Wherever he goes, you follow him. Now, DRC wants to be nosy. He wants to look at the quarterback. Where's your man? Where's the man that was just in your zone? You don't know, do you? Because you're looking in the backfield. Find your man. Stevie Brown, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You just running around in no man's land. You looking around, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. What are you doing? You two clowns. So for this, the purposes of this program, it's DRC and Stevie Clown, not Stevie Brown. These two geniuses, both looking at the quarterback, don't know how the Muggletron is. He left both of them somewhere around the 40-yard line. They run smack dab into each other, hit the ground. It looked like Three Stooges. They hit the ground while Calvin is like, hey, I'm open, throw me the ball. He catches it, walks into the end zone. You know what you deserve? You know what you two clowns deserve for that? You deserve a 2-pack smack. Back, 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 ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Get out of here, man. You two are clowns. Find the receiver. Don't look at the quarterback. Leaving guys wide open. You're not good enough for that. Get out of here, clowns. And last but not least, I saved my biggest snack. And I hate to have to do this for one Raymond Rice. Oh, Raymond. Why you make me do things like this? So you want to slap women around, huh? And yeah, I know it's your wife. Hey, I can't tell anybody what to do, okay? That's not what I do. I'm not here to judge anybody. And I never try to. However, this isn't even about what you did. It's about the consequences stemming from what you did. Because everybody else is going to beat you up for what you did, okay? Raj and the Ravens already beat you up for what you did. I'm beating you up because of what stems from what you did. You out of work, partner. You don't have no income. Where you going to get work at? You're done. You're finished. I should smack TMC for releasing the video, but maybe this needed to be done. Because you was about to get off the schneid with a 2-game suspension. That's it. You were about to be skating with 2 games. You know what would have been crazy? What if that video wasn't released until after Ray Rice was back? That would have been crazy. He would have been playing and he would have woke up on Monday morning and this would have been out. He could have rushed for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns the day before and could have been out of work the very next day. That would have been crazy. All in all, at the end of the day, you 2-pieced your wife with 2 devastating hooks. Bow! Bow! And so, for that, I'm going to devastate you with 2 left slaps. Bow! Bow! Now you out of the league. Now you out of work. I hope you find something to do. But before you do anything, ice up, son. Ice up. And so, that's going to do it for this installment. Pats, Daps, Snaps. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Can't get enough of me, Louie T? Or does your heart pump burgundy and gold blood? If so, either way, join me Tuesdays and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Red Skins Report. It's all things Redskins. So whether you join me or not, we're going to have a blast talking about the burgundy and gold. It's the Red Skins Report here on the Louie T Network.
So I just want to wrap up this show with an extra point. And we've already driven all the way down the field. And we're capping off this touchdown drive. And it was a beautiful touchdown drive. Don't you agree? Don't you agree? Let's tackle on this quick extra point. I want to talk, it's Wednesday. So I want to talk about injuries in the National Football League. The easiest way to have your roster and your team and the outcome of your season impacted greatly is injuries. Nothing debilitates a team faster than injuries. And so let's look at a few injuries that are notable that are going to impact teams greatly moving forward. Barry Cofield, Washington Redskins nose tackle, was put on IR recall, which means he can come back, but he's going to be out for at least the next 6 or 7 games. And won't be back until about week 10 or so with this Redskins club. I believe after their bye week, in week number 10, I believe the bye week is. He'll be back, I think, week 11 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is when he'll first be able to join the team. He has a high ankle sprain. Redskins went ahead and put him on IR recall. Nick Hardwick, center for the San Diego Chargers, done for the season. He's been put on injury reserve after he injured himself against the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football. Ben Tate injures his ankle. 2 to 4 weeks he will be sidelined. I don't know if he's going to be missed all that much. Their backs looked really good in his absence against the Steelers. You move on to Derek Johnson. He has blown his Achilles tendon. He's done for the season. That's a devastating blow to a Kansas City Chiefs team that already looks like they're going to be in a tough position this season. Tyler Eifert, dislocated elbow for the Cincinnati Bengals, has been put on IR recall, so he's going to be out for an extended period of time, will not be able to rejoin this football team until about 7 or 8 weeks down the road. He's going to be out for a while. Eddie Lacy had a concussion on Thursday Night Football versus the Seahawks. He's still nursing that concussion. Did not practice today, so we'll keep an eye on Eddie Lacy and see if he'll be able to suit it up versus the Jets on Sunday in week number 2. And another concussion, John Abraham suffered one on Monday Night Football versus the San Diego Chargers. He's taking a leave of absence from the team. Again, when you get up there in age like John Abraham and you suffer a concussion, you got to start thinking about your future. He might take a seat and may not get back up and play football. We don't know. So that's going to do it for this installment of In the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. It happens in the National Football League, whether big or small. We cover it all here in the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. Come back and join me tomorrow on Thursday when we preview Thursday Night Football, Steelers and Ravens, and I update the Survivor pool. I'll see you on Thursday. Have a good one. Be easy.